The landlord was simply planning to take back the rental house to give his son a cozy wedding home, but he never imagined the tenant would turn around and directly tear the entire place apart. When the day of the landlord's son's wedding finally arrived, his once luxurious and beautifully decorated house had already become a bare shell. Not only were the floors and wallpaper completely gone, even every single piece of furniture had been sold off. Yet he had no idea that all of this was the result of their own actions. It turned out the young man had signed a 7-year lease with them, so he invested a large amount of money to give the place an elegant high-end renovation. He even installed brand new heating panels throughout the home. But just after the heating system was finally installed, the landlord suddenly showed up. The first thing he demanded was $5,000 for heating fees. The young man immediately realized it was double what the neighbor paid. When he questioned the price, the landlord pulled out the contract and told him to look carefully. It clearly stated that heating costs were calculated solely by the landlord. The young man saw it and reluctantly transferred the $5,000. But the moment the payment went through, the landlord's son announced that the man needed to move out at once. He said he planned to use the nicely renovated house as his wedding home. He gave the young man 7 days to pack up and get out. The young man was stunned because he still had 4 years left on his lease, and he had just paid the $5,000 heating fee. The landlord insisted that his son's wedding was the most important thing. As for that $5,000, he claimed it counted as depreciation and cleaning fees for the 3 years the young man lived there. Hearing this, the young man refused to accept it. He said the place had been an empty shell when he first moved in. From the flooring to the sofa, every item had been bought with his own money. He then explained that the contract was legally binding. Breaking it unilaterally required legal responsibility. But the landlord didn't care at all. He shouted that having a contract meant nothing. "This is my house, and using it as my son's wedding home is perfectly justified." Hearing this, the young man said, "Fine. If you refuse to be reasonable, I will call someone who is." He immediately called the police. But after understanding the situation, the police said they couldn't intervene. The house belonged to the landlord, so the issue was a civil dispute. If there were disagreements, they needed to go to court for mediation. This made the landlord and his son extremely happy. They told the young man to go ahead and sue and enjoy the slow legal process. The landlord also advised him not to waste his time, warning that he might end up without a place to live or even lose his job. Hearing this, the young man realized he had been trapped by the father and son. Helpless and angry, he agreed to move out. As soon as they left, he picked up the contract from the floor and carefully examined the details. Suddenly, a breach clause caught his attention. It stated that if the landlord reclaimed the house early, he must compensate for all renovation costs, or allow the young man to take away anything he personally installed. Seeing this, the young man instantly thought of a perfect way to teach them a lesson. He then called his close buddy and explained everything. He asked him to help find reliable movers and demolition workers. All demolition tools needed to be fully prepared. His buddy immediately agreed. The next day, he drove a large vehicle over. When the door opened, several workers stepped out. Right at that moment, the landlord came out for a stroll. Seeing the young man preparing to move so quickly made him extremely happy. He generously said 7 days was more than enough. The young man kept calm, but his buddy couldn't hold back his anger. He was so furious he almost confronted the old man. Thankfully, the young man reacted fast and pulled him inside. He then said, "We are not here to move out today, we are here to strip the house. The hardwood floors, the built-in cabinets, and all the furniture would not remain. Everything he paid for would be removed completely." Hearing this, the workers were stunned. In all their years, they had never seen anyone move out like this, and the heating panels looked brand new. The young man assured them everything had been installed by him, so he had the right to remove it. But the workers warned that demolition fees were different from moving fees. The young man said money was not a problem, as long as everything was finished within 7 days. Hearing this, they immediately divided tasks and got to work. That same day, they loaded small items into the truck. Just as they were leaving, the landlord came again. He said his son would come the next day to decorate the wedding home. The young man calmly said, "Let him come, I will never interfere with his wedding." The next day, the steaming groom arrived with several buddies happily ready to decorate. Just then, his girlfriend called. Thrilled, he turned on the camera to show her the wedding home. He proudly said the floors and furniture were the finest. The heating system had just been upgraded. They would be able to wear short sleeves indoors even in winter. His girlfriend was delighted, which made him even happier. Feeling generous, he said that since the young man was so cooperative, he could come eat at their reception. After saying that, he continued decorating with excitement. But the next day, the workers removed the floors and furniture he loved the most. The young man wanted to see exactly what expressions they would have on the wedding day. The following morning, the young man was carrying things out when he ran into the groom returning with the wedding party. Seeing him, the groom showed a smug expression. He said, "Today is my big wedding day. Come eat at my reception before you leave." The landlord immediately lit up with joy. He said his son could marry smoothly, all thanks to the young man's renovations. The groom completely agreed. If the young man hadn't renovated so well, he would never have had the money to buy his new car. He then shoved the young man aside, telling him to hurry and go. Then he pulled the bride and a crowd of people upstairs, excited to show off the luxurious wedding home. But the moment he opened the door, the sky practically collapsed on him.